The United States passed a sweeping set of restrictions aimed at shortening advancement in China's semiconductor industry. How do you think this is going to impact the Chinese economy and the global supply chain? And then beyond that, how is it going to shape the semiconductor sector more broadly?
This approach is really not what we need. We need a World Trade Organization. We need rules of the road. If they need to be upgraded because we're all trying to make an energy transformation, let's negotiate new rules of the road. Fair enough. But we need rules of the road. And when the U.S. says rules-based system, it can't mean the rules we make, United States. It has to be rules that are negotiated globally through international institutions.
Jeffrey Sachs, you wrote very recently about how false Western narratives and perceptions about China and Russia, along with some US policies, are stoking tensions within this triangular relationship. What do you think can be done by each of those countries to achieve a more cohesive relationship reset?
I think that the US and Russia need to sit down and end the war in Ukraine in a way that respects Ukraine's sovereignty, but also respects Russia's national security as well. The key, I have always believed, is clarity that NATO will not expand to Ukraine and to Georgia, which is on the eastern end of the Black Sea. Russia said that is a red line for our national security, and I think the United States should have listened to that. I think if President Biden and President Xi meet and say, let's tone down the tensions, tone down the rhetoric, don't call each other enemies, don't treat each other as enemies, have mutual respect, some prudence, listen to each other, stick, as the U.S. should, with the one China policy. I think we could really lower the temperature there as well. Then it would be possible for the G20 to do its real job, which is to help find new financial and economic solutions for a whole world that is in crisis right now.
I'd like to finish off with this. China in your country has become public enemy number one because it dares to improve opportunities for 1.4 billion people, and in doing so it dares to challenge the world's superpower, the United States. But in the spirit of openness, because you will tell us what China does well and what the world can learn from China, what should we learn from America, from the country that you call home?
Well, you know, America is, to its plus, is a country of incredible diversity. We don't manage it all that well, by the way. But what is the case is that it's an incredibly multi-ethnic, diverse society with all the tensions that go along with that, by the way, and the tensions are very high. My city, my hometown, New York City, is incredible because it's got 200 languages spoken daily at least, and I think it's great strength. Parts of the U.S. Work in that wonderful way. I want us to keep that idea, and for that also we need to just get out of the mindset of the U.S. unipolarity and running the world and everything else, which is a huge mistake for the United States, and actually build on what should be our biggest strength, which is our diversity. And I believe, by the way, that the relationship between the U.S. and China has been incredibly constructive for decades. My first trip to China was 1981. I've been going every year basically since then. China's a big place. So if China succeeds in improving living standards, well, that's a big number. And the United States has to understand that as being 4.2% of the world, it should be delighted when the rest of the world achieves progress as well. That's a better world. That's the mindset that we need.